What would you buy if I told you that you had to spend $5 on Magic the Gathering right now? Now, what would you buy if I told you you had to spend 100? Well, today we're going to go on a full-blown MTG shopping spree. 5 price points, 0 prep, and 1 goal. Just try to impress each other with the best pickups that we can show at any tier. Hey, I'm Joel. I've been playing Magic for over 20 years. Magic news and card prices is literally my full-time job now. So if you want to know how far your dollar can actually go in this game, hit subscribe and I'll keep you ahead. Today, Muddstah's joined me to go head-to-head. We have each built a shopping cart with Magic singles, sealed product, or whatever catches our eye as long as it fits the budget. It's part deck building, part finance, part chaos, and make sure you stick around to the end so you can see our $100 picks. Muddstah, are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Joel, our Magic is brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your cards quickly and easily on the internet. TCG Player, the best place to buy them, and where you can buy any of the singles or sealed product that you see in the show today. Use that link in the pinned comment or in the description before you check out, and you will help out the channel at no extra cost to yourself. Dragon Shield, the best way to protect your cardboard, and Moxfield, the only place to put your deck lists on the internet. Muddstah, you're the guest on this episode. I always like to let the guest go first. Number one, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, and then hit us with what you've got at your $5 tier.
Sure thing. Hey, I am Andrew, aka MTGMuddstah. That is a story for another day. But I run a YouTube channel where I post 2 gameplay videos a week and sometimes do shorts with funny outcomes. But for the most part, if you're looking for me on any kind of form of social media or platform, you type in MTGMuddstah, you are 9 out of 10 times going to find me. So for $5, I mean, outside of a delicious footlong, I went with Nibelheim Aflame. It is from the Final Fantasy set. It is a mythic. It has Sephiroth. It has everything you could possibly want. I think it comes in at slightly under $5, but that's okay because it's worth it. It is a red board wipe. It has card draw or exile, and it has flashback. It's everything you want and more.
It's so much stuff. I've actually won games with this card. I put this in my cloud deck because I tried to pack that with as much, Final Fantasy, not only good cards, but flavor as I could possibly pack in there.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the ability to just have a giant powered cloud deal his damage to every other creature, basically on the flashback, get 4 cards drawn, and then swing through completely unblocked. It's just a crush. This is a great move. For my $5 level, I want to go with a green card that I don't see people running enough, and that is Druid of Purification. This 4-mana Druid enters. You get to pick an artifact or enchantment you control. Everybody else gets to pick an artifact or enchantment you don't control. That's the important part. And then we're destroying each permanent chosen this way. Specifically, I want the secret Lair version. It's $5.26. The regular version of this card is like $1. And so it doesn't seem like that much of a jump. There seems to be a little price discrepancy there because especially this is the only special version of Druid of Purification. I love this card though.
It's fantastic. It's a great card. I like that it adds like a political element to it because you're the one casting it, but it's your opponents who are picking the stuff. They're going to have to talk about what they want to destroy, and sometimes they get together and they're like, okay, everyone picks the same thing, and that's fine. But sometimes there's problematic stuff on the board that someone wants to wipe out, and that can result in people, kind of being like a little bit frustrated with the things getting blown up, and that can also shift some of the focus away from you playing the card to the person voting for the card to get blown up. I think it's a great card.
Yeah, I really love cards like that. Anything that says destroy like 2 target enchantments or any cards like that, what I like to do is I'll cast it and destroy the one that I definitely need off the board that's going to shut down my game plan.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times I'll just toss the second removal of that card to the board and be like, and then as long as it's not my thing, y'all can decide on what else y'all want to destroy, because I do feel like you said, it takes a little bit of threat off of you, even though you were the one casting the removal.
Yeah, well, that's it, because you have to decide. People have to vote. People have to decide, and it's different than like a Croson Grip or a Reclamation stage where it's very clear, like this to this, that's because of me. And it's just, it's the kind of thing that I love about Commander, because it just interjects a little bit of politicalness, but at the same time, it helps forward the game, and it's a lot of fun.
Agree. Couldn't agree more.
All right, jumping into $10, Descent into Avernus. This is a card that I will jam into every single red deck. There's a lot of red cards on my list. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I am.
You have come to the right place. As long as we're playing Rakdos, we're on the same team.
Okay, then we're good to go. But Descent into Avernus is just, as soon as I saw it come out in Baldur's Gate, it was just, and it's the kind of card where you play it and it's kind of innocuous where it sits on the field and it doesn't do anything the first turn, which is always kind of like what catches people by surprise. But then you get that first trigger and all of a sudden you got 2 treasures and everyone else has got 2 treasures and they've all taken 2 damage. And it's like, oh, hold on a second. And if you get more and more and more, that's when things start to get really good. And what I like about it is that it A, speeds up the game because A, it gives everyone RAM, but also it lowers everyone's life total down. So it's this like 2-factor authentication kind of thing where it's just like, yes, everything is going fast, gotta go fast. And I love it. It's such a great card.
It's a very Sonic card. I get that. I like that a lot. I was actually going to point that out. It speeds up the game in 2 different ways because you're ramping everybody and burning everybody's life total at once. I talk about this card all the time. I'm a huge fan of this card as well. I think it's a super underrated card as well. I think that this should be more than a $10 card, especially based on we only have the Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate printings of it, the base copy and the extended. There are no other versions. You've got the stamp promo, but that's a given for pretty much every set. It's not really going to move the needle too much. But yeah, I love this. As a person who really identifies with Rakdos, burn them all down, Furnace of Wrath style strategies, I am a huge fan of this one. All right, you said Sephiroth for your $5 pick, and it kind of freaked me out because I thought maybe I had messed up or you had
stolen my pick.
But for my $10 card, I'm also going with a card that has Sephiroth on it, and I'm picking Meteor Fall, which is Star of Extinction. This was that Godzilla treatment version of Star of Extinction from the SLDs that came out around Final Fantasy. This was the SLD that I did not get from that drop. I got one of each of the others, but I didn't buy this one because I didn't want a Wrath of God and some of the others. But like I said, I have that cloud deck that I'm trying to pack as much flavor into as at the same time as making it a strong deck. And so I want this specifically for that deck as a type of board wipe in that deck, because I can give Cloud indestructible pretty frequently, and dealing 20 to everything is very frequently just going to leave my Cloud behind. And this is the one with Sephiroth in it. I think in general, across the board, Final Fantasy, it's time to start looking at it. If you're a singles purchaser, Secret Lairs, the base set, even the top copy stuff, it's a good time to go and look at that set right now because we're far enough off everybody's radar. I think that everything has drifted down, and you're into that pickup range. Some of the more difficult stuff to reprint, like the Secret Lair stuff, like this Meteor Fall card, that is the kind of stuff that you're going to see start climbing ahead of everything else and get out of like, I want to spend the money on that anymore, because people are just going to be looking for the card with Sephiroth on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, the Final Fantasy set as a whole is collector dream in terms of just like, it's got all the cards that you want. It's got a lot of playable cards. Like, I think there was like Noctis's Death Magic is Damn.
Yes.
There's like so many just good cards that have like a new skin. And like, I mean, I know it's a very divisive kind of topic, but like this is the set that really kind of got me because I'm a big Final Fantasy head. But it's yeah, these are definitely cards you want to pick up sooner than later, because the reality of it is like any kind of Magic card, as it trends later into the life of it, it's just going to go up. And I mean, like even Surge Foils at this point are just like, I don't even want to say. I'm staggered by some of the prices, but it's. And yeah, it's a great board wipe too. Like, it's a fantastic just way to deal with the board.
Yeah, there will be others, to your point. Cards like Toxic Deluge, that was Merciless Poisoning, stuff like even Feed the Swarm. Even a simple destruction spell as Primogenesis in the Secret Lair Final Fantasy drop. In 3 years, when Johnny Ting Tong is coming around and he wants to build his Final Fantasy Commander deck, that is going to be the removal spell that he wants, and he's going to have to go pay for whatever the price is at that point. And that's a $20 spell that's already up to that point, and it's a 30-cent card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely the time to look at that before we get too far away.
So $20 is one of the new set cards. It is Edge of Eternities. It is an Exalted Sunborn. I think that at this point, even though we've had so many token doublers coming our way, this is priced at a really good rate, and Warp is a really, really good mechanic for doing things. So it's just a great card. It's a great price. Even if you're hard casting it for 5 mana, it's still a 4/4 angel with flying and lifelink, plus the doubling in and of itself. Otherwise, you're cheating out for 2 mana. It's just like, yeah, it's so much value.
Yeah, I completely agree. We've gotten a lot of these token doubly, triply style cards over the past couple of years. It's definitely a direction they're going, and they never go too low. Elspeth's Storm Slayer was another version of this type of effect earlier in the year, and that card has hovered around $30-$40, and it's only going to go up over time as the print run decreases. And so I completely agree. This is the type of card that you want to buy into sooner rather than later, because it's not going to be long before it starts climbing back up.
Yeah, it's one of those weird situations where typically I know a lot of people say like wait until there's like a kind of a glut of cards available and the prices come down. But this feels like, I think we've hit that medium with Edge of Eternities at this point. And if anything, it might be something like an Aether Drift situation where basically not a lot of people are opening it potentially. But I think Edge of Eternities is well received. And as a result, like, yeah, it's going to be harder and harder to find.
For my $20 pick, I actually went with a special guest card from Murders at Karlov Manor. I know a lot of people didn't love that set, but I think that the set has proven itself over time. The special guest Victimize is in that set. This is a 50-cent card, right? Like, this is a printed all the time, nothing priced card, but it's one of my favorite reanimator spells of all time. 2 creature cards in a graveyard. You sack 1 creature and both of the things come back to the battlefield tapped for only 3 mana. It's just an insane amount of value, and the visual of this one looks so insane compared to the other art. You only have 2 options for the art. The Craig spearing piece that people are most familiar with, that has the person in the sacrifice circle with the blade over them. Yeah. And then the very old one that had Zancha in it with Phyrexian art. That was the original one from, I believe it was Urza's Saga. But this is the only alternate version, and at around $20, this one is kind of proving itself, I think, as a card that people highly desire and want to be their version of Victimize. When you see a card like this that is mostly a 50-cent copy that you can just get and play, but then the one special version is $20, that's a pretty good signal that that one's going to continue to rise over time. And so I just personally want to grab a copy of this before it gets out of a range where I'm like, okay, I'll pay $20 for that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is, I think with a lot of things, the Commander precon sets are usually, not always, but there's an indication that the cards that are put in them, at least the uncommon ones, are cards that people like. So the fact that we see like Victimize a lot, the fact that we see like Rampant Growth and stuff like that, these are cards that people typically play. And like you said, if you only have 2 choices of art, and they're the ones that are usually printed, having that third one that's very limited is often enough to sort of be like, if you really want to like bling out your deck, we'll say, that's the way to go. Because obviously if you can't pick like Soul Ring. Soul Ring, there's like a billion versions that you can pick from. But Victimize, yeah, there's the 3 and only one of them is hard to find. Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer to me.
This set, the Murders at Karlov Manor special guest slot, had Ghostly Prison and Fabricate and Show and Tell and Tireless Tracker and Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead special guest is up to $50. That's the one where inside the like church or city hall looking thing, and they're coming up from the floorboards. It was a very good special guest set within that set for sure. Yeah, so want to grab a copy of that before we get too far. At $50 right now, I want to spend it on a copy of Jessica's Will, and not any copy of Jessica's Will, but the copy of Jessica's Will called Storm's Will. I went really SLD and special guest with my picks in this episode, but right now this one is $40, so it's $10 under the level that we're looking at here. The average copy of Jessica's Will is about $25, so the premium that you're paying for the Jessica's Will being Storm's Will is not that much comparatively to a special version of a game changer card, literally on the game changer list. But Muddstah, you know as well as I do that Spider-Man is kind of dudding, everybody's lower on Spider-Man than we thought everybody was going to be. The set's kind of busted, but that doesn't mean that Marvel's not going to be sick as hell in the future. You know we're getting an X-Men set, and you know that they're not going to reprint Secret Lair art, and you know that when we go to build our Professor X 5-color Magneto Brotherhood, whatever deck we're building, we're going to want Storm's Will in there, and by that point this card's going to have doubled from $40 for sure.
Oh yeah, without question. I think that's the kind of card where it's, again, it's got that cross appeal of A, just being a game changer, therefore an amazing card, and B, it's like you said, it's a Storm card. So obviously, if there is an X-Men commander, I mean, we've already seen Wolverine at the very least, and Storm. You're going to want to jam it in there to be as thematic as possible. And yeah, again, with Secret Lairs, I mean, when they're done, they're done. And like, there's a finite amount of copies out there. So it's the kind of thing where, yeah, I just picked up a single of Storm because I missed out on the actual Secret Lair, which I'm sure many people who might be watching this video did as well.
Definitely.
So it's just the kind of thing where you're like, you got to get it when you can, if you want it. And sooner is better than later with a lot of this stuff.
And I think it's a tough mindset, right? Because at the time you could have bought the Secret Lair for 30 or 40 or whatever these were at foil and non-foil. Sure. But when you look at the prices of singles from Secret Lairs, and I won't take too long for this aside here, but just to kind of help the mindset on this purchase, if you do want a copy of Storm's Will and you're talking yourself out of it, or you want to talk yourself into it. When you look at the singles prices of any individual Secret Lair, typically 1 or 2 of the cards soak up all the value anyway. That's what you're basically looking at. And so, yeah, you could have gotten this one and all the other cards in the Storm Lair for that 30 or 40 bucks. But at this point now, 40 bucks, you can see, you know, like most of the value soaked into this card anyway, and so this was the one you were after, right? Come on.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, what have you got for us at your $50 level today?
So for $50, it was a pretty impactful card, I'd say, from the most part. I think it's his legacy play at this point, but it's the Simulacrum Synthesizer, and I'm glad I got to say it properly because that's a bit of a tongue twister for me. But this is a 3-mana artifact that has huge impact just because it scries 2 as it comes in, and then it's basically Urza's ETB trigger anytime you have an artifact that has 3 converted mana cost 3 or more come into play. You don't have to cast it. It doesn't have to be from your hand. It doesn't have to be from your graveyard. It's just if it comes in, boom, you get a construct, and the constructs get huge so fast. And it's one of those things where it's big score. So it came out of Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
That's right.
Which was, you know, that kind of, again, when they were trying to figure out how to expand the universe and the whole Magic the Gathering with hats on kind of situation. But the big score cards, I think a lot of them have gone up in terms of value. I mean, even like the Cornucopia, the green one, wherever you gain a life based on how much mana or colors of mana you spend in a spell, is like a couple bucks now, and it's like, it's an okay 3-mana rock. And yeah, I think these cards are incredibly impactful, and again, because they were in that weird kind of big score slot, not the most accessible.
No, definitely not. It's interesting for your $50 level because the base copies of this are only 36 and the extended copies are around that $50 level. But if you go in between our 50 and 100 levels, you've got the like showcase one with the specific big score vault like treatment on it. I don't even know what that frame's called, but it looks cool and it's got different art. And so, you know, honestly, not that much more to go for the special version. I agree with you, man. This card is busted. This was one of the alternate lines in the Iron Man deck for the longest time. You could just tutor this up really easily. It enters straight from the library by sacking a 2-mana artifact to Iron Man's ability. It, like you said, automatically scrying to anything else enters that's an artifact with mana value 3 or greater, which that deck is stacked with.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Is making 0/0s that are +1/+1 for all of your artifacts. That was basically the second win con besides just go get Mithril Coat and put it on Iron Man and punch real hard.
That's it. I mean, like the second it resolves, if this is the kind of thing where you have to answer it immediately, it's one of those cards that has to be dealt with. Otherwise, whoever's playing it, you know, they're building not necessarily around it, but there's going to be so much value payoff from it.
I love that pick. Take us right into our $100 level. How are you spending the most money we're spending in this episode?
So my $100 pick is sort of in line with a lot of your picks, which is kind of Secret Lair alternate art, which is Stay With Me. I do not have a particular fondness for Final Fantasy X. It was not my favorite. I played a lot of it. I also don't particularly like Rhystic Study. It's a card that I don't typically play with, just insofar as it slows everything down.
Fair.
So I'm a little bit biased, but like we talked about before, I am a huge Final Fantasy fan, and I've been actively trading for on a complete set, and it is a $100 card for Rhystic Study, and it is very expensive. And if I'm buying something for $100, its chances is going to be that.
Right on the dot, dude. It is $99.44. This
There
card
we
is
go.
such a great pick. This card was my pick for this episode, bro. I'm not even lying. This was originally my $100 pick, and then I just went in a different direction, and I'm glad I did now, so we had two different cards to talk about. But that's so funny. Yeah, this is a game changer as well.
Yep.
It's got one of the most iconic moments from one of the most iconic Final Fantasy games represented in the art. It is one of the most iconic game changers, very likely to maybe even be banned one day. And at that $100 level, I do think this is a little bit speculative, but I think that the price of this one only goes up. It's hard to imagine that, you know, it won't go forever, but it's hard to imagine that this one goes lower than this. I think the risk of that happening is so low. It's insane.
Nil. I would say it's nil at this point. I mean, Ristic Study, if a deck needs Ristic Study, especially in CDH, it's going to play it. And I think this is just, like you said, it's iconic. It's an iconic art. It's an iconic card.
Yep.
And at $100 for a special version of it, that's really, like, especially for a game changer too, again, that's not going to break the bank in terms of what people are looking to spend. So I think it's definitely a good choice if you want to spend $100 on something.
I agree. This is the kind of thing you look for as a major collector piece, chat. This is the perfect union of like maximum playability with maximum collectibility with maximum like visual appeal as well. The card just looks nice looking at it. Some of the Spider-Man ones, the framing doesn't look exactly right. It's weird. The text I wish was lower because it's like covering things. This one just looks perfect. So yeah, I love this choice at 100. Love it.
What do you got? What do you got at 100?
At my $100 level, I'm leaning into something that we're doing right now, which is the Galaxy foiling. I really like that Galaxy foil original secret layer. It had the Soul Ring, had the Arcane Signet, Command Tower, all the Commander staples. Right now, the Soul Ring has gotten up into the $150 range, but the Arcane Signet is only $84 right now for the Galaxy foil. I think that that card has the same amount of playability. It's honestly a couple percentage points lower than a Soul Ring's playability, but still insanely playable. They have said, Mark Rosewater has said that they view Edge of Eternities as a success, to your earlier comment, and that we definitely will be going back based on that. And so the Galaxy foiling will be returned to again. They are showing by replacing people's secret layers that sucked, basically. The Galaxy foil secret layers that they sold a couple weeks back, they've just sent out an email to everybody saying, hey, you don't have to do anything, but we're just going to send you a replacement copy that looks better, because that looked like that just was awful.
I like that though. I think that's a really good move for like kind of like player and buyer, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, hey, we recognize that this is not up to snuff, and we want to make sure that you're happy with what you get, which is a great way to deal with it.
Which shows me too that they want people to believe in that type of foiling as a premium type of foiling, so that they can sell it to us again, And so with this Arcane Signet from the original Lair still being under $100, looking at the probability that we go back to Edge, the probability that they want to make Galaxy foiling another thing that they sell to us, and people will again revisit, like we always do, the older versions of these cards and be like, well, I want that one for my new Edge of Eternities 2 Electric Boogaloo Commander deck, so gotta have it. It's $180 now. Wish I'd bought it when Joel told me it was $84.
And I mean, the Galaxy foils are pretty. Like, I mean, when I was opening a collector box, I was so stunned by the, I mean, people razzed on me about this. Like, I opened an Ancient Tomb and I was just like, whatever, I don't, again, it's a card I don't play, so I was kind of checked out. But I was getting the basics with the Galaxy foils, and there's something about them where it's so nice. And then like even the Shocklands, it's just like, it's a nice treatment where it doesn't detract and it just adds. And I think of all the things to do, that's the way to do it, and that's the way to make your cards more special.
Let us know down in the comments what you would buy at each one of those levels. We want to talk to you about it down there. MTGMuddstah, say bye to the folks and tell them where they can find you.
Bye, folks. You can find me, basically, like I said before, anywhere that you can type in MTGMuddstah. That is, except for TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. You can find me on YouTube, Blue Sky, Facebook, all the good stuff. And yeah, I post videos, and hopefully you get to watch them.
Links to MTGMuddstah stuff is down in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you for watching. Do all the YouTube stuff, and we will see you in the next one.